All right. So welcome everybody. I'm gonna try to make this quick and easy, but also very informative. So let's do this. Okay. So welcome to our volunteer orientation call for the CRR19 2023 CRR19 bike tour. I'm Selene Gonzalez. I know some of you can see me. Others are on with your cameras off, and that's okay. And to everyone else who might be watching this as a recording, hi, and thank you so much for volunteering with us this Saturday. So let's get started. I always like to do a little icebreaker. So I want you all to just give me your name and then answer these three questions, right? What is your current superpower? So anything you think your superpower is right now. What is your future superpower? So something you're working on. And what is your comic book superpower? So I'll start. My current superpower is being able to wake up every day at 5 a.m. to a very hungry cat and still being able to go back to sleep without any problems. And my name is Selene, of course, with Organic Oneness. My future power would be something I'm working on right now is I want to be able to ride the entire lakeshore bike path of just Chicago, right? From the beginning of Chicago all the way to the end. So that's kind of my future power I'm working on. And my comic book power, I say, would be to control the weather. That would be nice. So I'm gonna popcorn it to Faisy. Faisy, what is your superpower?
My current superpower, I want to say, is I'm usually not afraid to do things that might seem kind of boring or like unusual or um, a little apprehensive. My future power is I'd like to work on if I see a comfortable couch and a TV to not sit down on it and waste my time and go and get the work that I need to get done. And then comic book power, it would be pretty nice to teleport. That would be cool.
Teleportation. Nice. Who would you like to popcorn it to right now?
I'll popcorn it to Jerry.
Okay, and actually I have my husband Mark here too, who's also coming on Saturday. So
Hello.
Hi, Mark.
I will go first. My current superpower is that I am really comfortable talking to anybody about kind of anything, which is really good because my future power is to get a new job. I had started my last job. I was supposed to be there for 10 months as a consultant and ended up being there 8 years as a salaried employee. And in March, I left under good circumstances because I felt like there was like more that I could be doing. So I'm putting all my energy into that future thing. And I think comic book power would be to be able to, teleport myself. So I wouldn't have to get on a plane. I could just like go visit my kids in New York. I could go to Paris for dinner, like that. It'd be really good.
Oh, we don't want to travel 9 hours on a crowded plane somewhere.
I don't mind, but it would just be so much cheaper to just like think about it and be there, right?
Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing, Jared.
And handing it to my husband, Mark.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So let's see. My current superpower is that I will try any kind of food that I have not had before. I'm a very brave taster. Let's see. My future power, I would like to be able to speak Japanese. So I'm studying, but it's very slow going. And my comic book power, but teleportation is really good. I feel like I need to pick something else. So I'm gonna fly.
There we go. All right.
Able to fly places. So
Just a small lag behind the teleporters. I see.
yeah, I'll be there when I get there.
Mark, why don't you popcorn it to someone else?
Oh, let's see. How about Cassandra?
Thank you. So I think my current superpower is the ability to organize. I actually love organizing. It excites me. The messier, whether it's physical things or project planning, the messier, the hairier it is, the better for me. Yeah, what's my future power? I think I really want to be able to write policy and op-eds really, really well.
Nice.
Yes, and my comic power, close to teleportation, but I think it's really to become invisible.
Ooh.
At the snap of a finger. Just to like be invisible when somebody turns around and says, Cassandra, and then I'm not there. I haven't gone anywhere, you just can't see me
Or
anymore.
is that policy? You're like, whoop, gotta go. That's awesome, Cassandra. Who would you like to popcorn it to?
Let me see. I may totally mess up your name. Is it Nilufar?
Got it. That was very good. Thank
You.
you. And also, Selene dear, I was in the calendar invite and couldn't find the link. So I wonder if other people like me were in there wondering, well, where's the link? Because I never got
location.
it's not in there.
Okay.
Because I never got the email with the invitation. So I was only depending on the
Faizi, you got the email I sent out with the Zoom link, right?
Yeah, but that one was separate from the calendar invite.
Yeah.
Um,
They try to do both. You should have gotten the calendar invite one and then the email one.
yeah, I got both emails.
But the calendar invite doesn't have the Zoom link. So if
Yeah,
anybody
I
clicks
didn't
on
see
it,
the calendar invite in the Zoom link either.
Okay.
But today's email had a link in it, but it's a Google Meet link, and I just opened that up again, and there's nobody there. So
Okay. Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah. The mystery. I'll definitely send the recording though to everyone afterwards so that they can review this. But thanks for letting me know. They did mention at the beginning, Nilafar, that there was something, because I remember putting always our Zoom on the location so people know it's there.
right?
I'm not sure what happened.
You know why? Because Side is the owner. She's the only one can do it. It won't save unless the owner is doing
Zoom. Well, now we know.
There you go.
Anytime you want
Technology
to
is so
save
wonderful. and it
some
works.
money, anytime you want to save money, it's okay. It's all right.
Oh,
This recording will come. We'll get to them. It's okay.
So
yeah, go ahead, Nilufar.
Cassandra, thank you for picking on me. I'm Nilufar, but I'm also Nilu if it's easier. And gosh, my current superpower is that I am very detail oriented. My future power would be that I would be oh boy. Well, would become a backup singer in a band, but I don't know if that's a power.
I like that. That's actually people have yeah.
That's like my retirement plan. My comic book power, I don't know how to answer that one.
Comic book power is, Marvel movies or, something that currently, although when you guys mentioned teleportation, I think physics is saying we're getting closer to that. So those kinds of more supernatural powers, like I wanted to control the weather,
Okay. Then my comic book power is that I can read minds.
Nice. I like that. And you're right. 2 people have reached out who got the original Zoom link, and I've just sent them this link. So hopefully they'll join us soon. All right. Well, we're going to keep it going. So we're going to start with a short video. And while we watch that video, hopefully people will be able to join us. Eric and Samantha are the ones who wanted to join right now. And this video is one that was recorded last year for anyone who is new to the CR19 bike tour. And it kind of helps ground us and explain a bit more about, why it's important that we're volunteering for this event. I always think it's important that you know a little bit more about the things, when you're volunteering, especially if you're new to it or, things like that. And if you're veterans, which I think Jerry and Mark, you are, get to see the video again. So let me play that for you now. and just let me know if the volume is working.
The reason why we're here today, again, is to confront this history.
Is the volume working?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, here.
And this history is not tied to just riots. The riot term is actually a term that was used over 100 years ago that was actually a reflection of violence that was directed towards Black people. It was directed to constrain the way Blacks moved socially and where they lived. We understand that the trauma that many of our residents were facing were not only tied to interpersonal trauma, but also tied to structural trauma. And it was one of the work groups that was focused on education equity, the Greater Bronxville Community Action Council, thanks to Alicia Bunn that brought in a historian who talked about how he was motivated by how Germany was confronting a difficult past. And how in the United States, we tend to operate where omission leads to healing. And we know that that's not true. Professor Peter Cole was motivated by walking down the street and we see a brass marker that in German is Stolpersteiner, which means stumbling stone. And it was the last known resident of a victim of the Holocaust. And immediately, for me as a South Sider, someone that went to elementary school in Bronxville, someone who's currently working in Bronxville, I knew about the strength of the community. I knew about when I walked around 40th Street, I would see beautiful murals that used to be on the old CTA branch line that went to Kenwood and also went to the stockyards. And I would see some of our histories on the murals. So I understood the importance of public art and how public art engage individuals, especially individuals that might not be looking to be engaged. But the actual force of organizing strength actually came from organic oneness inside of it. Give it up for Saida, give it up for Elizabeth, Selene.
To both uplift, commemorate, educate yourselves about this history. It will make us stronger and better. Chicago, you have to reclaim the present. We want to have conversations about the past, but we want to talk about how they impact us today. And then ultimately, we have to look forward. We want to reimagine the future. What do we want our world, our community, our city to look like?
Nice. Oh, I always like that. So, tomorrow we will be meeting at a new location. This is something new. If you are joining us again from last year, we will be meeting at the IIT parking lot on 35th and State. And so I kind of put the little star there for you. The entrance will be here on State Street, and it's right across from a Starbucks. So that'll be nice for any coffee people. In general, the program will, there's 2 times during the day that there'll be a program where people will be speaking. So that's like from 10 to 10:30 and from 1 to 1:30. So just be aware of that. As volunteers, we're going to have very different hours, but that is something that's going on. And if anyone asks, you should be able to say, oh yeah, there'll be a program in the morning and in the afternoon before the actual tour, which happens in the middle of those 2 time slots. Let's start with roles. So we have a few people here who are going to be in our first role as volunteers with the setup and registration from 8:30 a.m. to 11. So I know we've got Jerry and Mark here. Nilafar, you're here. Faiza, you're here, and Cassandra as well. Woo! Got a good number of people who are going to be in the welcoming one. So one of the things to note in the morning is obviously try to get there at 8:30 because we're going to make sure we put you into your sections. For example, Nilafar, who's here, is the lead for the registration. So Jerry and Mark, you guys will be with her in the morning. You'll be helping man the registration, make sure that people check in correctly and all that stuff. Faizi, we're making you a lead, and we're going to have you lead some of the young people in terms of setting up the space. So setting up the chairs and helping us set up the tents for our vendors who are there and their tables and things like that. Cassandra and Sue, you guys, Sue is not here, but Sue, when you see this recording, But Cassandra, you're gonna help me with the t-shirts in the morning. So we're gonna set up a t-shirt stand. People will be picking up t-shirts they purchased or purchasing new t-shirts. And then, for the most part, we're just gonna wait until people start to come in to register. Usually people start to show up between 9 and 9:30. And then it's just tons and tons of people, right? Any questions about this part for the people who are doing the setup? And you can use the chat, or you can just unmute yourself before we move forward.
I think we're good. I should hear Nilu. We can
Nilu.
almost see ourselves.
Oh, there you go. Hi.
There we are.
Yay.
That's so
And
nice.
I think this is our 3rd year volunteering,
Yeah.
so we're
Oh, you're
good.
veterans. Yeah.
Excellent. And have you always been in the registration booth or did different things?
Sort of set up and
Like whatever
kind of
needed to be done.
directing people when they come in and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Gotcha.
chaos when they first arrive.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a great description of it. It's gonna be chaotic.
It'll be interesting to see how the new space works,
Yes.
Yes.
And actually, if you remember from last year, oh, hold on, there might be something in the chat. Oh, great, Cassandra. Last year we had something similar where this is north, for those people who like to be oriented through that. This is the north side, and where did my cursor go? The top is the north and the bottom is the south. And so on the top, we will have the stage, right? So by 30th Street will be the stage. And at the bottom, further down State Street, that's where we'll have registration in the lower left corner.
Okay.
T-shirts in the middle. Bathrooms will probably be over here. And then all of the vendors will be by the railroad. So to the east. And then all the entrance will be up on stage on the upper left. So very similar to last year, just a little different, but that's how we're planning to organize it. The main thing is to stay away from the entrance as the registration table, because we don't want people to funnel there. We want them to really just come in and spread out. Yeah. But that morning, we'll make sure to mark the zone so we all know what needs to be happening where. Faizi, you are taking on a lead. We definitely can make sure in the morning that we show you where everything is and it needs to go, and that you meet your volunteers. But this is the main thing is that the center spot of that parking lot needs to have a bunch of chairs in the morning, so folks can relax and sit while they're watching the programming. And then, as I mentioned, on the east side, to set up the tents and the tables for all the vendors.
Okay, so basically same as last year. Almost.
Basically the same as last year. Yeah. Awesome.
Then I had a question for Shadan, who is leading the water. If we can go back to the map.
Absolutely, yeah.
The wondering was, could he drive the car into the space to get the water bottles in the car and then drive out?
If he comes right in the morning, yes. What we
Okay.
don't want is when people are starting with their bikes, have any sort of vehicle.
Yeah.
So yes, right at like 8:30, between 8:30 and 9, that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
But any later than that, I think it would be unsafe to let vehicles come in where bikes are and pedestrians. So
And
yes,
can you show us on this map where the entrance would be for the car?
we've been told that the entrance is around here.
Okay.
So if that changes, we will let
Actually, go back for a second. I
Sure.
just
Shadan
want
know.
to see
Shadan know.
something. I wonder if it's further down, but I could be wrong. I'm wondering, you see where that big rectangular box is in
This
the
one?
middle there? Yeah, I wonder if that's where the cars are coming in, but maybe not, maybe not.
So I might actually go tomorrow just to scope it out, because there is, even with us, we're trying to figure out if most people that are volunteering can actually park over here.
Right,
But
right.
it's a matter of, can we make sure that the fence isn't locked? So that's just a
Right.
conversation we're having with IIT right now.
Great.
So we will know soon. And we'll be texting all of you and emailing you any updates.
Right.
But yes, that
Thank
is
you.
definitely something that will be probably information that's updated as we move along this week. Any other questions related to the setup crew, some, you know, who your lead could be, where you might be, from anyone here on the call before we move forward?
Nope.
All right.
Nope, I think we're good.
I'm good.
And awesome. And then Faisy, you're gonna have a secondary role because the setup won't take the whole time. So on the second half, we're gonna have you, Lily, and the eco ambassadors who've listed here, part of the welcoming committee, right? So once the setup is done, we're gonna make sure you can know that you can tell people, you know, here's the registrations to your left, porta potties are over there. If you need parking, is over there. The trolley's over here. So all of that kind of guiding people and welcoming them, and then letting them know, oh, the program starts at 10:30. The water is over here if you need some water. All that kind of stuff. You guys will be running from 9:30 to 10. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
All right. So then the next thing is the water, obviously. We don't have a Shadan here, but I know that Nilafar, you'll let him know, and I will be texting him. The main thing with the water is that from 10 to 12 is when you are actually giving out the water during the tour. But as we mentioned, we need to make sure we load the 2 vehicles. There might be another one with all of the water. So by, I would say 8:30 to 9, be there so we can have the volunteers load all the water, and then you can park your car somewhere and relax. Enjoy registering or walking around and just taking in the view. But then from 10 to 12, we'll have Shadan and the other driver follow the tour and the trolley, and that we'll have Dominitis. Oh, I am so sorry when you see this recording if I butchered that. Dominitis, Kit, and Samantha will be supporting Shadan to distribute water to the bike, the cyclists, and the tour guides and the people in the trolley. And that's happening during that time. Then when that is happening, we will be doing lunch prep. Now you can see right now that we're a little short on lunch people. We only have right now just myself and Tina doing the lunch prep. So putting it out there to anyone who's seeing this recording, and or to any of the setup crew who will not be going on the tour, if you can hold back and just help us set up the tables and help us distribute the food when the food gets there and when the cyclists come back, that would be a lot of help. But yes, this role here for volunteers goes from 12 to 1:30, and it just entails taking all the chairs and rearranging them so that the chairs are around a table so people can eat together in community. It's making sure you can help us take the food from when it's delivered to the tables where we'll be passing it out. And then when the cyclists come back hungry and thirsty, we pass out the food real quick so that they can eat and they can listen to the second part of the program. So yes.
There's one clarification though, that the lunches are arriving at 12, but the flipping of the tables to set it up to get it ready is actually earlier than 12. It'd probably be like 11 or so, you know. Yeah.
Let me see. Yes, from 11 to 12, and you're right, we didn't have that in there. We did talk about it, but I didn't put that in the lunch prep. From 11 to 12 is mostly the prep, and from like 12 to 1:30 is when people can support us with like passing out food, like that. Yeah. I will say last year sometimes it happens that our vendors, our food vendors might come there late. So we say these times, but we don't know when they will arrive. We told them 12, they might arrive 12:30, and then we have to really rush to get stuff off their vans and then set it up. So that's the lunch. So if you're looking for some excitement, maybe also volunteer for the lunch slot. And then we have the cleanup crew. This is at the end of the program. We just want to make sure we have support in terms of taking down all of the chairs, putting the chairs back, the tables back, the tents down, cleaning up any trash that might be around, leaving the space the same way we found it, essentially. And that just should take 30 minutes if we have everyone's support. So if you have the capacity to stick around and support us with that, that'd be great. Right now we do have one dedicated volunteer who said, that's my jam. And so Sonjanita, and I apologize if I did not pronounce that correctly. Right when you're done eating lunch, just come and find me and we'll make sure that you can start to support us with this. Okay, so those are the roles. Any questions you guys might have about those, we can go back to them.
I think you were gonna ask, Selena, if anybody was gonna go on the tour from the volunteer crew.
We did ask, and when we were talking about that role, yes. So I'll ask again. Is anyone who is setting up staying behind, or are people all here going on the tour? Because if you're not going on the tour, we'd like to invite you to help us prep for lunch. So I know we don't have everybody on the call. We have some people we'll send the recording to. So also for the folks who are watching this recording, if you're not going to go on the tour, but you are helping us with the setup, we would like to invite you to stay behind and help us set up for the lunch. And anyone here, if you already know that, you're not going on the tour, please let us know so that I can make sure I put it in the list and we know to tap you.
Mark and I are not going on the tour, as always, and which is fine.
Yeah, you could have gotten a motorized bike this year. I wasn't going to assume.
No, but we've got dogs to get home to, so we'll probably stay until like close to noon. And as always,
Yeah, be happy to
anything
help
you
out.
need, we're here for you.
Yeah.
That is always a big help. Thank you so much, guys. I'll make sure to move you as well to the prep time for lunch. Thank you.
Cool.
And
Faisy, what are you gonna do, Faisy?
I don't know if I'll go on the tour yet because I don't have my bike in Chicago. So
there will be some divvy bikes. Now I'm
Yeah,
trying to get away from this.
I'll just decide.
Say that again.
Like, can I just make that decision when I'm there?
Oh,
on the day?
absolutely. So if you decide that you're not doing the tour, just let me know and it'll be great.
Yeah.
We can always use the hands. Yeah. Great. Awesome. I think that's everything. Just keep in mind.
What about Cassandra? Did she want to add?
Cassandra, are you doing the tour? Cassandra? She might have stepped away or something.
Stepped away. Okay.
Yeah, but she was, yeah. So when she sees the recording, I'll still reach out to her via text. Oh, maybe that's her. Okay, so you'll be leaving by noon. So then you're not doing the tour? Oh, okay. Let me see. You be going on the bike tour. If not, can. Okay, great. So Cassandra, you can help us with the lunch. Great. Yay. So we're fine with lunch now. We have enough people. That'll be good. We'll also send out a text probably Friday if there's any updates. I'm thinking around the parking lot thing, there might be some updates. But if there's anything new, we'll text you and email you. We'll do both. And feel free to reach out through email or text if anything comes up. Okay. If any final questions, thank you so much for being here. We're really excited to see you this Saturday. Jerry and Mark, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Always. Always.
As it is every year.
Every year.
And we're going to have Harold's Chicken, so that's going to be tasty. That was a big hit last year. And yeah.
And vegan.
Oh yeah, of course. There's totally vegan. I'm like, it was a hit, but I didn't eat it. I don't eat that. So yes, there will be obviously some soul veg, which is really good. Let me turn off the recording and stop sharing there. Let's see, recording.